Hey folks, Ryan here. Today we're going to be looking again at a neat feature in Oracle HCM. Today we're going to be looking at the HCM Spreadsheet Data Loader. It's very similar to the HDL tool, but there's some distinct differences. I find it to be a bit more user-friendly. It's a very cool tool. It has a lot of neat features that make it very easy to use, and if you are frequently uploading data into HCM or into Oracle, and or if you're in a situation where you just need to load like a bunch of records really quickly, but you don't want to go through the whole hullabaloo of creating an HDL file, this is a great resource. With that, we're going to jump right into the system. So as you can see, I'm, as usual, logged in as Curtis Fetty, our HR specialist. He is going to navigate to my client groups and then data exchange. And we have our typical HCM data loader area, but the section right below it is our HCM spreadsheet data loader area. This is a fun little area. In order to use this, I'm actually going to go back and show you. You will need to download the plugin for Excel. You can do this by navigating to Tools, and I believe there's, download ADF Desktop Integrator. You'll just need to download this link here, or click this link here to download the desktop integration with Excel in order to use this product. It's very easy to do, but just go ahead and do that before you actually get started. Otherwise, you'll be a little bit frustrated. We'll go back into our data exchange and we'll head to our spreadsheet data loader area, and we'll go to our spreadsheet templates. This is where we'll see several of these templates which already exist. So we can see merge content items is one that's existed here. Merge flat amount standard rates for our benefit standard rates. We might have calculation cards, different things that we might find in here. Or if we wanted to, we can create our own. So we'll click create to do that. And we'll need to give it a name, demo HSDL. The code will automatically generate. I'm going to look up position. As we search, it's going to tell us there's a few that say positions. We just want our basic position for this instance, but you could choose. If you wanted specifically for a legislative data group, you could do so. I'm just going to leave that blank for now. And if there were categories necessary, you could do so too. You can choose if this is to create an update or if it's to just delete any items. We'll leave it as create an update because that's going to show us some cool features, but we can click OK. After we fill out this information, it's going to take a second to load, but then it's going to take us into here we go, the screen where we're able to sort of design our spreadsheet loader. So at the top here, we have our define stage. We can choose our template security if we want it to be uploaded as the session user, or if we want an elevated user to be who is applying the data to the system. We can adjust our name, our category, the legislative data group, and provide a description. If there are any parameters that we wanted to add, we could do so. Let's see, let's search and look at some of the basic ones. Yeah, here we go. So we could capture audit data. We could say the maximum percentage of business objects in error that can occur, the maximum number of concurrent threads, or so forth. Those are some seeded ones. You can create your own. We'll go to the design because this is some of the really neat features that I would like to show off here. All right. Now, I don't want to say the difficulty, but one of the things that can be more frustrating about using HDL is that you need to know exactly which attributes you need to include in your file, and that sometimes can be intuitive, sometimes not. When we're using HSDL or our spreadsheet data loader, as we add in some of these fields, it will automatically include other fields that are part of user keys. So for example, our position code. We'll just select this line and we'll move it over, and we get this information here. Hey, you have added position code, but you also need for the user key to add the business unit name and position code together. Oh, actually, that is what I wanted to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. You can click OK. And it's going to add not only that business unit name and the position code, but the effective start date, also a required field if we're going to be making updates to existing positions or creating new ones. It's going to add it for us. I don't need to think about it. These are things that it knows that I need, and so it's going to apply it for me. I knew I wanted position code, but it's going to give that contextual information of other fields that I'll need and apply those as well. Really, really cool. Let's say in this scenario, I need to add grade ladders to all of our positions. I can just move grade ladder name over into here. And if I wanted to update additional attributes as well, maybe I wanted to update the full-time equivalent, maybe I wanted to add, let's see, a grade, an entry grade, I could do so as well, or an entry grade ID, whatever that might be. I could do so. Maybe I wanted to update the departments too. I could add these fields over, and those are going to be included attributes when we develop this spreadsheet. If I decide that I want to remove them, I can just use the one arrow to move it back. You'll notice there are others here that have the double arrows. These are going to be, as you can see in the tooltip, adding all of the fields. So if I want to just wipe out everything and go back to the start, I can remove everything from the right side by clicking the double left arrow. If I want to add everything, I can click the double right arrow. We'll go ahead and move to our next step here, which is adding instructions. If multiple people are going to be using this, if you're designing this for your organization to use on a regular basis, great idea to add instructions here. If this is something you're developing for yourself to load this data in, you might want to add instructions. It'd probably be a good practice to ensure for the future that if anyone comes across it, they know what it is and how to use it. If not, that's totally fine. Let's say we want to restrict this to only certain individuals. We're updating grade ladder information for positions. We might only want our compensation specialists to be able to do that. That's totally fine. We could add a role as who is able to use the data set operations, or we could add a role that's the only people that are able to edit the template, provide any maintenance on the template. So just some kind of cool security features to ensure the right people have the right access to the right data. And then finally, we have our review here. Just lets us review what we're going to be including. Kind of neat, kind of fun. We can validate and save. And it's letting us know template's valid, changes were saved. Perfect. If we want, we can preview, which is going to create a generic HDL spreadsheet. This is going to be our spreadsheet loader template. And I'll go ahead and open that up. Oh, there it was. And we can enable editing. Now, as I do this, it's going to pop up with this dialog. Do you want to connect to this URL or this environment? And we can say yes. We'll see this window pops up, and we give it a moment. There we go. This should look pretty familiar, right? We'll log in as Curtis again. All right, it's taking a second to detect that I'm logging in. There we go. I'm going to skip that for now. Just asking if I want to update the version. But we'll see we get this loading bar, and then our spreadsheet is completely transformed. Our instructions tab, we're not going to see anything here because I didn't add instructions originally. Messages, as we had any error messages, they could come up here in an organized way. And then we have where we're actually doing the dirty work, right? Where we're doing all of our data loads in. So the first thing we'll want to do is go to review, and we'll want to unprotect the sheet. It lives in a protected mode. When you open it up, you'll need to unprotect it before you're able to make any changes. Next, you'll want to click on the Spreadsheet Loader tab, and you'll want to create a data set. If you don't create a data set, you won't be able to upload any of your changes. It's asking me if I want to create a data set because anything that I haven't saved will be lost. That's totally fine with me. I haven't done anything. But you'll just say yes. It's telling me that the data set was created successfully, and you'll see that now I have a data set name up at the top here. From here, we can start entering in our information. So we can say our effective start date is 1/1/1951. We can give a business unit name. Let's double tap here. You'll note that there are these brackets with the 2 dots in the middle here. That means that field has this search capability enabled. And we can, oh, here we go, we can search for our business unit. Oh, looks like my Zoom might be a little messed up here. We'll just cancel out of here. If we want to, we could also just type this in and it will validate to ensure that's a valid value. You'll notice also that this has an asterisk here. This is a required field. We have to enter in our position code if we want to be able to save and upload our information. So we'll just put in a number as a position code. Let's see, this might be telling us that it's invalid. Yeah, I don't think it's a real position code. That's fine. That's just for this demo purposes. And we can choose our grade ladder. We'll call it grade ladder 001. Obviously, in the real life, you would be making sure this data is correct. Otherwise, we'll get some errors. After everything looks good, we have some options to save this information. As we do so, it's going to go through, save all of the data that we've put in here. We can refresh, and we'll see that this is ready to process. It's converted this to a date. Sometimes it does that. It just is a little silly sometimes. Excel does store it as a number though, so there's nothing to worry about there. We can see our grade ladder name is in there. We have a key over on the side here just for reference purposes. You won't need to worry about that too much. But once this says ready to process, you can select more and then upload, and that will begin the process of uploading your information into Oracle HCM or whatever other system that you're using at the time. It's a really cool feature, really neat. I love it because I can work with Excel to manipulate data as I need to. Maybe I'm referencing several different lists from a client that it's coming from different distinct places. I want to make sure that I'm using all my XLOOKUPs to get everything working right. Once it's all pretty and ready to go, I can just copy and paste it right into the spreadsheet loader that I've created, hit save, make sure that everything's lined up correctly. My data is formatted right, my dates are formatted right. I have a valid business unit or whatever it might be, and then I can upload. It's going to upload all that information for me and then give me line by line if it's a success, if it's an error, and if it's an error, why. Great feature, phenomenal feature. I highly recommend you use this if you're working in data conversion, if you need to make any mass changes to anything, and you just love using Excel. This is a great way to marry those two loves into one area. If you have used HSDL before and you have good experiences with it, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you've had bad experiences with it, let me know what went wrong. Maybe there was just some little tweaks that needed to be made or something that was missed. I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much.